Hi everyone, I'm Michael Manrique and I'm one of the Habit Guys. We teach realtors prospecting habits when they finally become top producing agents. And welcome to the Realtor Habits Podcast, where agents don't need more stuff, they need better habits. Before we get into today's episode, I want to let you know this episode is brought to you by our Habit Guys Facebook group. We all want to prospect consistently and be more organized. Well, to do that, we need to think, do, and act like a top producer. Watch us prospect live and teach you every week for free in our free Facebook group how to get more expired listings, FSBOs listings, how to connect with your sphere, how to really learn how to not sound salesy, but instead just serve and make friends. Watch the highs and lows that come with prospecting in real time and get the opportunity to ask questions in the moment. All you have to do is visit us at habitguys.com/Facebook. Again, that's habitguys.com/Facebook, and learn all the skills top producers use in their day-to-day business. If you know anyone that can gain value from this podcast, please do us a huge favor and share it with them. We're here to help as many realtors as possible, and we appreciate your help to do so. All right, let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is called 3 Mistakes Realtors Make Building Strong Client Relationships.
Oh, this is good. Because I hear all the time, like, oh man, I spoke to so-and-so. And then they end up getting ghosted.
Right.
And they're not closing deals. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then when you're hearing calls, right, I'm sure you're seeing a lot of this happening where you're like, oh my gosh, they're not building the right relationships at all.
Absolutely. So and that's the problem, right? That it's obviously crucial, right, in this industry to have strong relationships to close deals, to get opportunities to present buyer consultations or do listing consultations. So it's really important to understand what you might be doing wrong that's preventing you from building these strong relationships. So let's get into it.
And by the way, before we get into it, you have to be honest with yourself, agents. You have to be honest with yourself because a lot of us haven't been trained in communication, in building relationships. A lot of you come from jobs that you didn't have to build relationships. You were an admin, you were a secretary, you were a financial advisor, you were so many other things, but you didn't know how to truly build relationships, long-term relationships. And so you have to be honest with yourself and simply say, I don't know. And if you're not going to start there, then we cannot even have the conversation. Because if you feel like you know better, if you feel like you don't need any help, then what are we talking about here? So that's why as we get into this, it's just I want you to be honest with yourself as to like, man, can I learn more? Can I go from a level 6 to a level 8 this year? To a level 9 this year of communication and getting better? Because if you can improve your communication, which we're going to help you on this episode, if you can improve your communication and relationship building by just 10, 20, 30%, how much more money would that mean in your business? So I just wanted to start that off there, Mike.
Well done.
There you go. Let's go.
So let's get right into it. So let's talk about the number one mistake that realtors make is failing to actively listen and understand clients' needs.
This is a big one. Big one. I fall into this trap sometimes. Right? Where you're like so worried about what you're going to say and what you're going to do that you're not properly listening.
Right.
You know? So, no, man, I think this is something that's so overlooked and we have to just address this full speed. Now, Mike, say I'm your coaching student and you're listening to my call, right? And I'm not listening at all. Like, what are you telling someone that's not a good listener at all?
So it's important to understand that it's normal. So let's talk about a couple of things. Let's take a step back. So the first thing that we have to do is understand that we need to say the right things to build and maintain relationships.
Okay.
Right? So what that means is that you should be following our scripts. Now to get a hold of our scripts, you go to www.habitguys.com/free and you'll see our scripts there. So now we know what to say.
But hold on though. I'll stop there for a second.
Okay.
He said follow the script.
Correct.
Follow the script. Guys, stop trying to outsmart the script. Stop trying to and I got to keep saying this because you can say this, Mike, and people are listening are like, yeah, whatever. No. Guys, we have spent so much time, energy, effort testing this out, researching as to how this script works from a authenticity level, from a closing percentage level, because we tested this as real estate agents. We're top producers. We have a team of agents. We have coached hundreds of students all across the world. So do not outsmart the script, okay? Stick to the script, and then now we can continue. Because I have so many agents are like, they just do their own thing. You give them like a script, and they still do their own thing. They go off of it, and then they wonder why people ghost them, why people on the do not call list actually report you, because you're annoying. You're not following the script. You piss people off. So stop pissing people off. Stop pissing yourself off because you're having the wrong conversation. Stick to the script. All right, I'm getting cranked up about this. All right, Mike.
Totally.
But because it's so critical, guys, I'm telling you from a sales perspective, I do this, and I've done it as a public speaker for various companies, and I've been chewed out the same way, telling me, Andy, stop outsmarting the script. The script works. Follow it. Now, I'm not saying change your personality. I'm not saying God didn't make you in a perfect way. We want you to be a robot, right? Like, okay, I'm going to talk like this and I'm going to be... No, you're still going to be you. You're still going to talk your own way. Perfect. But what we're talking about is the framework of following the script, right? The framework, which we'll get to later on.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
So the first thing that happens is you have to follow the scripts, right? And so everyone understands it's natural, it's normal. This whole rant that Andy talked about, it's normal for you not to want to follow a script. Why is that? Because guess what? We're not taught to follow scripts. We're not. Right? We're not taught to say certain things and look, unless you've been a telemarketer, unless you have acting lessons and you practice reading scripts all the time to act differently. This whole script world, of course, is going to feel uncomfortable. Okay, so if you feel uncomfortable using our scripts, understand that that's part of the process of you getting better with the script. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that happens often when using the script, so now you're saying the right words, which means now you're beginning to have great conversations. One of the misnomers that agents get into when they start prospecting is they start forcing conversations. That's a big no-no. You're not going to get business from people that you are forcing to speak with you. Because number one, they're not going to like the conversation. Number two, they're not going to speak to you again. Okay. Yeah. So ultimately, use our script so you have productive conversations. And now what generally happens is when you start using the script is that you're so focused on the script, right? And I literally tell all the students, and I still do this to this day when I prospect, is I have the script in my hand on a piece of paper, and I literally read it. I still do it.
I still do it too on Prospecting Adventures.
Of course.
Every single week when I prospect live, I have it in front of me.
Yeah, why are you going to add extra pressure of remembering and memorizing? No, yeah, you might know it off the top of your head, but it's still nice and sweet just to have it there and not worry about it at all. Okay?
And guys, guess what? If Mike and I use our own scripts, these are scripts that we have, it's our company, we know it pretty darn well, you should be using the script too.
Absolutely. So what generally happens is when you first get a new script and you start having conversations because the script elicits conversation. Okay, imagine that. Imagine there's a script that actually makes people want to speak with you. It's an amazing concept, right? So now they're speaking to you. What generally happens is new students or new people or new agents that start using the script, they just start focusing so much on the script that they miss something. So recently in a group coaching call, we were role playing, and in the role play, the student gave the email to the so-called seller, and then again at the end of the script gave the email again. Same email. They just requested it twice, but they already did that, right?
Correct.
And this happens all the time. So part of understanding that being a good active listener requires this gray area where you're gonna make mistakes, okay? So yes, follow the script, but understand that learning isn't just a finite experience. It's not the end of a race. It's a constant process, okay? So what you want to do is you want to follow the script. If you don't listen because you're focused on the script, then that's something that it's okay, and just continue the process of honoring the script, okay? The more familiar you are with the script, the better listener you will be.
And just get your reps in. So what Mike's telling you is give yourself grace.
Right.
Like, it's okay. You're going to mess up. You're going to get nerves. You mix that in with nerves. You mix that up with being new. The way you learn is obviously getting through those gaps. So give yourself permission to mess up. It's okay, and do that. But also, you're a professional, so role play, right? Practice. Invite friends over to your house and invite them for snacks and wine if you want, and practice your scripts out loud with them. So you can. That's what I would did early on in my speaking career. I invited friends and family over my house, and then I practiced my presentation in front of people. So it provided an environment where I'm nervous and I'm in nervous mode, right? I'm in game mode as much as possible.
Right.
And I got reps in, because sometimes, okay, it's good to go out there and get it done, but it's also good to work a little bit, but also don't hide behind practice mode all the time either. We'll say that as well, because a lot of agents are trying to quote unquote perfect the script, and then they never go out there, and they don't, they hide behind practicing all the time. So don't get caught into that trap though either.
Right. So the mistake number 2, okay, to help you build strong relationships, the mistake you have to understand is the importance of follow-up and consistently following up, okay?
Yep.
This is the biggest.
This is huge.
This is the biggest mistake I would say 9 out of 10 agents are not doing correctly.
Yeah. Because the first problem is agents don't prospect, right? So they don't even get to that first phone call, right? But then this number is going to blow you away. 97 is it? 97% of all closings happen on the follow-up.
Right.
After the first call. So imagine this formula. First call doesn't really get done. That's a hard call to make for a lot of real estate agents. And then you actually have to call 5, 8, 12, 15 times, right? The average, I think, is over 5 times.
Yeah.
So imagine that. It takes you 5, 8, 10 times of follow-up to close the deal. And 97% of the deals that close happen after 5 calls,
That's right.
contacts. So imagine that. So if you're not following up, I got agents that say, oh yeah, I called them. Yeah, but how's your follow-up game? Because, yeah, you spoke to them, but then 2-3 weeks later, 6 months later, you see them closing with somebody else. How many times has that happened, real estate agent, where someone said no to you, or you spoke to that person, they showed interest, but you simply didn't follow up, and that ended up costing you?
And what we forget, or maybe we haven't been taught, is that this is at the core a relationship business.
Yeah.
Okay? This is not a type of business where you can give a 20% discount, a Black Friday discount. Let me sell your property today.
No.
This is not that type of business. Most transactions occur because of a relationship that takes place. Think about right now. Think about everyone that is your friend, okay? Think about everyone that you know. Did you meet them one time and never speak to them again? Of course not. We've connected with them multiple times, again and again and again.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's the same thing if you want to get business from someone, okay? Right. We have to build a relationship, it requires multiple efforts of communication and rapport, because ultimately, what are we trying to build here when we reach out to people? Trust. Because it's, for most transactions, the people behind the decision makers, it's an emotional decision.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the biggest decisions they'll ever make in their lives,
Absolutely.
right? This only happens a handful of times or less for the average American. So with that in mind, it's got to be, they're going to give that opportunity to someone that they believe in and have trust with. So ultimately, what we need to be mindful of is creating a follow-up system that is scalable and easy to use. And again, if you want to learn more about that follow-up system, we teach this in our free coaching consultation. So go ahead right now, while we have limited openings, go to habitguys.com/call and schedule your appointment today. Again, that's habitguys.com/call.
Yeah, we'll take a look at your business, see what's working, see what's not working, and just jump on there. Absolutely.
All right, so the third mistake, okay, that's preventing you from building strong relationships with your clients is overlooking personalization and customized service.
Yeah, because a lot of agents think that we live in a one-size-fits-all, right, type of environment, but you definitely have to customize at some point, right? The experiences based on, who you're talking to and actually, how that's working.
So in my opinion, I think a lot of agents overthink this process to the point where they just never start, right? And what they tend to do is they tend to look for the newest tool or the newest resource to separate themselves from the field, right? But what's really important to understand is that all these tools are accessible to other agents, which means you're still commoditizing yourself. You're not able to truly separate yourself from someone else. So what is the thing that we should focus on, be grateful for, take appreciation of? And that's ourselves. The way that we have integrity towards the way that we follow up with things, the way that we make promises, the way that we communicate, right? The way that we follow up.
Yeah,
right, exactly. The way we say things, that's how we distinguish ourselves from someone else, because in all truth and reality, every realtor really has the same opportunity when it comes to tools and resources as someone else. So what we really need to do is we need to appreciate what we bring to the table, and the table is where everything goes down. What I mean by that is the buying consultation and the listing consultation. If you're not meeting face-to-face with your clients, you are not building relationships, point blank, end of story, okay? Everything starts off, if you wanna text, if you wanna call, that's wonderful, but if we're not getting face-to-face with them, then you're not closing deals.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that's what our scripts are designed to do, okay? It's to get you to the appointment, get you face-to-face, because that is the best, most effective way to build a relationship on a face-to-face basis.
And I think we overlook that building trust thing. Like, no, that's a big deal. I was talking to actually a huge top producer about that. He doesn't really prospect anymore. He's at a point in his business and we look back and we're like, man, what's the biggest differentiator, you would think? And his answer was like, people just trust me. People just trust me. And then they refer me business because they know I'm going to take care of them. They have such an amazing experience with me that they want their friends and family to be, to have the same experience with me as well. So don't overlook it. And Mike's so right. We get so gimmicky in this business of, man, what's the listing presentation, the 3-ring binders, let me do this, let me do Facebook ads, let me have beautiful branding, let me switch brokerages because this one has better branding than this one appeals more to luxury, this one, it's like, just stop. Like truly, let's go back to basics. Be a good human being, right? Good human being, trustworthy, because guys, you know this, the worst part about real estate, being a real estate agent, is dealing with other real estate agents, because a lot of them don't return your call, right? They're like, man, they're listing a property and they don't return your call at all. They don't return your emails. They have some attitudes. And you're like, bro, if this guy's talking to me like this and I'm trying to bring on business, that's a crappy experience. So guys, let's not overlook the fact of being a trustworthy, a dependable, a loyal. If you say you're going to call them. If you say you're, being in integrity with your word, right? So don't try to overlook the wholeness of this.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, you can't outsource building relationships. You have to do it. Okay?
Well said.
All right. Awesome. So that wraps up this episode. Again, those are the 3 most major mistakes realtors are making when attempting to build strong client relationships. Again, it's failing, I should say, to actively listen and understand client needs. Number 2, underestimating the importance of follow-up and just being consistent.
Yeah.
And number 3, overlooking personalization and a customized service. All right. In closing, here is the missing piece to your business. It's accepting that when you know better, you do not necessarily do better. You do better when you change your habits. Let us help.